Nikola got his MVP trophy before the game tonight, and a pretty incredible game from him, obviously. I know it doesn't come as a surprise, but was there anything that stood out most to you from him with some of the finishing or some of the passing in this one?
Not really. That was a great game.
What did you kind of like from your team in the third quarter after the run that Minnesota made to?
Well, that was the key to your point. I felt to start the third quarter we weren't ready to play, and we're up at halftime, playing pretty good basketball, and they go on an 11-3 run to start, and a quick timeout. Then I think from there we closed on a 23-8 run. So just reminding our guys who we are and how we need to play if we're going to try to protect our home court. And our guys did that. I mean, I think in that second quarter, we had I think 3 possessions in a row where we took charges. Aaron Gordon took 2. So I thought for the most part, I know the percentages, 48 is not ideal, but 31 from 3 allowed, only 97 points. And we knew we had to do something different with Anthony Edwards. This guy is just a one-man wrecking crew. And I thought KCP, CB, Aaron did a great job, but we trapped them. We double-teamed them, flew around behind it, and that takes a lot of effort, and our guys committed to it. And I think that was a big part of the win tonight. 30 assists is a great number. Obviously 16-4 in transition, a great number. But, we're not satisfied. That's a great win in front of a great crowd, but we got to go up to Minnesota and try to close it out. It's always the toughest game.
After the first 2 games, there was a lot of focus on the Wolves and their bigs and what they were doing against Joker, and even more big picture, the way Tim Conley had built the roster with Joker in mind, but he had just not played like himself. What had you seen in those first 2 games from him, and how relieved are you that he's back to doing what he does?
Yeah, I think it wasn't just Nikola, to be honest, Sam. I thought, it was the entire team. Obviously, they had come in here. Game 1 was close, 3 to go. It's the 3-point game. And obviously, we know what happened in Game 2. But I just didn't think we, collectively, were playing like the reigning champs. We didn't have a swagger. We weren't playing with confidence. We weren't playing with aggression. And to give them credit, they had something to do with that. So, you got to give Minnesota respect when it's due. But I think after that Game 2, sir, that was a great reminder of who we need to get back to being, both offensively and defensively. I told our players today, and I'm always talking defense first, but in our 2 wins, we average 116. In our 2 losses, we're averaging 90. I mean, that can't be the case. Our offense has to help our defense. And I think the last 3 games, we're averaging close to around 114 points a game. And 16 in transition is great. And I think another really important stat is the 30 assists, but only 12 turnovers, because they do a great job of turning teams over. But Nikola was named MVP after that Game 2 loss. And I think the last 3 games, 3 consecutive wins, he's shown everybody, why he is arguably, one of the best players to play this game.
Michael, Nikola didn't score in the first 5 or so minutes of the third, and then he scores 16 of his points in the final 6.5 minutes of the quarter. Do you call more plays for him? Do you nudge him at all to stay aggressive, or is that just him recognizing the moment and understanding what his team needs from him?
Yeah, he doesn't need to be nudged, man. That's Nikola Jokic. He's 1-9, 3-time MVP. I don't have to nudge him. He reads the game, and I trust him 1,000%. I think it's just when he's being guarded one-on-one, go to work, and put the team on your back. And what's really neat is that, just after the game, I was talking with Jamal, and he said to me, man, he goes, Nikola's really good. What an understatement. And he goes, some of the shots, some of the finishes, and what I love about that is, Jamal is really good too. And for them to appreciate one another and to never take each other for granted, I think is special. But yeah, no, Nikola, man, 15 of 22, made 2 threes, got to the foul line. He did everything for us tonight, and it was fun to watch.
Michael, we talked about the impact of the bench last game. Tonight, Christian, you look at his stat line, but it feels like his impact was even so much bigger than that. Can you talk about his impact on the game tonight?
Yeah, CB has been great. That's 2 games in a row that I've closed with him. I think his defense, his rebounding, 28 minutes, 10 points, 5 boards, a couple of assists, 2 blocks. But then hustle plays, just his aggression, his toughness, his physicality, and I love his confidence, man. Like he's stepping in and shooting the shot with confidence. Where I think early in their season there was a point in time where if he missed a couple, he was somewhat hesitant. But right now, CB's playing at a very high level, and that's a luxury for us. If we have a lead, and I need to get a guy in that can guard at a high level and rebound and make plays, you can get him out there and hopefully he can continue to play at the level he's played at.
Hey, Coach, I've asked you about momentum a bunch. Now that it's established, how do you maintain it and not let them get back into this to force a Game 7?
Just keep playing the way we're playing. I learned a long time ago, very simple, from Jeff Van Gundy: understand why you win, understand why you lose. So after that Game 2 loss, we took time to really own why we were losing and why we were down 0-2. And then obviously we've won 3 games in a row. And I think in those games, we've been physical, aggressive, assertive, disciplined, confident, whatever you want to call it. And we know that closeout game is always the hardest game in any series. And they have a great crowd. That place is going to be rocking on Thursday night. We just have to weather the storm, stay with it, and continue to play championship-level basketball.
Michael, after Game 2, you called the team out and challenged basically their heart, their championship heart. Over the last 3, they played with composure, confidence. Where does that come from, that composure?
I think it comes from experience. I think it comes from raising a banner this year, going through all the trials and tribulations to get to that point last year. You guys all know, you're all students of the game. Every great player has gone through those trials and tribulations, the failures. You can go down the list of all the great ones. And, we're no different. Nikola's no different. Jamal's no different. So we had to go through those to get to where we got last year. And I think sometimes, like a loss like Game 2 can do a lot of different things. But I think for us, it struck a nerve and reminded us of, okay, let's get back to doing what we do and how we do it for a lot closer to 48 minutes. And, I think we played like champions the last 3 games. And that's a far cry from who we were in Game 1 and 2. And we'll need even more of that come Thursday to try to end this series.
Michael, Nikola loves the chess match. How quick of a problem solver is he, and what have you seen from him and how he tried to figure out this Minnesota defense?
His IQ is off the charts. He probably belongs to Mensa. He probably doesn't even know what Mensa is, but he is. I'll quiz guys throughout the series about play calls, about personnel tendencies, about game plan. And Nikola, he's ahead of everybody. He just knows everything. And it's the same thing with defensive. Like, Rudy Gobert is a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, Hall of Famer. But Nikola, he plays you, he reads you, and he knows how to counter almost everything that you can throw at him from an individual standpoint, from a game plan standpoint. It's really fun to watch. And the best thing about it, is that he never forces the issue. A lot of guys will force it. He's going to read the game, take what you give him, and then make you guys react to him. So, yes, his IQ, his unselfishness, and his ability to make, 13 assists, make everyone around him better is just, for me, what always has separated him from other players. That's the definition of greatness, in my opinion, making everyone around you better.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, everybody.